Hey, what is up guys? Guitar here, welcome back to another Brave 9, alright, apologies, Brave 9 video. Okay, today we'll be looking at the Gorgona World Boss tier list. I've been wanting to do this for a while. It's taking longer than it should. Apologies for the delay. Some of the units really need some testing, alright, especially things like Archon and Lilian. Those require you to test a couple of times, swap runes out to make sure. I want to try my best to give the best possible tier list that I can provide to the community. So some of you guys might be using this to refer as something as a guideline. Alright, hopefully all of you just use this as a guideline, because quick disclaimer before we proceed with the video, meta will always change. Alright, at the time of me recording this video, that's what I think the placements of the units are. So currently, obviously, we're going to have lots of updates in the upcoming future, but for now, I do think that whenever you make tier list, it has to, constantly being updated. So that's something that I am aware of. So yeah, so these are the units that I would place in terms of the highest priority to the lowest priority when we are considering their usage in terms of trying to get the highest possible score in World Boss Gorgona. Alright, so let's have a look what are the units I'm talking about. So first up, we're gonna try to dig out all the legendaries and who I think they can be used for the World Boss Gorgona. Okay, so first up, Alec, don't use him, he's useless. Angelica, the best unit you can possibly use for Gorgona World Boss. Alright, so Angelica has 100% defense, so that comes from her second skill. Alright, she can get close to 100% defense. She doesn't really need 100% defense. In fact, I do think that if you go with 2 vital runes, she will be survive Gorgona's attacks easily. Alright, so put the highest vital runes you can on her, bam, and watch her like just take hits like nobody's business. Okay, so she is definitely one of the best solid choices in terms of trying to deal with Gorgona. Alright, so Asmut, nope, not even close. Not even close. Alright, Beliaf, no as well, because currently, at the time of me recording this video, Beliaf, her skills are banned in the World Boss. Alright, so if you guys don't know this, you can't like produce skeletons when you're fighting against World Boss. Her skills are completely banned. So not sure if that will change once the Beliaf gets the companions, and she might get reworked to plus 15, but for the time being, just know it's not worth using at all. So Celia is a thorn in between. I wouldn't place her at like useless rate. She's somewhere in the... Alright, we're gonna get back to her, but for now I'm gonna place her moderately at the B tier. The reason is Celia has one of the highest HP for a tank. For a mage. She has one of the highest base HP stats for a mage compared to most of the other mages, unless we are comparing with Katarine, of course. And also she pairs well with Raphithia and Gran for the set effect, alright, that you can get. What is it called? Traitorous Trinity. 30% increase in HP. So which is why I would say she's pretty high up there, but not exactly all the way high up there. The reason why is because she doesn't provide anything much on her own, which I want to clarify that before we proceed further. So something like Gran makes much more sense than a Celia, right? So Gran, she can provide something on her own, like she can just be steadily taking the hits from Gorgona. So Gran is so good against Gorgona. 20% base defense, high HP, go with 2 vital runes on her, and she will be able to help you out a ton. So that is a sure thing to use. If you don't have Celia, Gran is definitely a good one. Now Raphithia, I wouldn't say she's like S tier or anything. She's not like the best one you can use in terms of supporters, but she's pretty good. Alright, she still have the plus 12 tile range, and obviously damage reduction doesn't really help. Okay, you need the defense, alright, as opposed to the damage reduction. So Raphithia right here, so I feel like at A tier, that's where she's gonna sit for the time being. Alright, so she deserves, I feel like she deserves a spot on her own. If there's a tier between A and S, I would place her right there, but I don't think she's that strong to be in S for World Boss Gorgona, that is. She's very strong in PvP, but not right here against Gorgona. Alright, so I'm gonna place her at A. Okay, so Livia, she's okay, not that bad. I wouldn't say she's as bad as the rest, because she is relatively tanky, right? The problem though is she can't provide much score. She can survive if you have good runes on her, but she won't be able to provide much score. So I would say she's about C. Lucius, unfortunately no, because again his skill is banned. Alright, so therefore he loses the Death Guard and stuff. So same goes for Mamonair. You can't have Energy Guard against World Boss Gorgona, so unfortunately they'll all have to be right here. Seto. Now, Seto does have pretty high edgy. Alright, but again, against World Boss Gorgona, right now at the time of me recording this, nope. It's not going to do much. Maybe in the future. Alright, same goes for Vals, low HP, she can't really do much. Same goes for Natus. Yeah, Natus is just going to die. Not an ideal one for World Boss Gorgona. Alright, Aaron though. Now we are talking. Aaron. Now, Aaron is kind of a tricky one because if you look at Aaron's stats, alright, it's pretty moderate, decently high HP of course. You want the defense stat. He has 0%. Very unfortunate. 0%. He's a good candidate for sure. His combo is very good just because Tamis is right there. But on his own, I wouldn't say he is strong. So same reason with Rafitia, right? Rafitia can be comboed with Grand Hilde to be high up in the set effect to get higher score. But for Aaron's case, Aaron himself is pretty okay. He's like one of the highest HP mercenaries in terms of defenders. So I feel like he can stand on his own without the need of Tamis, to be honest. So I think he's on par with the rest of the units. So she's not needed right here for World Boss Gorgona. Definitely don't use her. Albion, for sure, S tier. Albion needs to be right here, SS tier. Like Albion is just so good, man. If there is... Okay, maybe Albion is not an SS tier, but I feel like he has to be like... I don't know. He has to be ranked higher than the rest. He provides 4 other units the max edgy that they need. What else do you want? What else do you want? Like, that's what he provides. All the other units with 4 more edgy. So it's just so good, man. Anastasia, no, not needed at all. Alright, Antonio. Now that is interesting, right? What does Antonio have? Nothing. Nothing at all. Alright, so some damage, regeneration, barrier, debuff immunity, but base stats very low, HP slightly on the low side as well, so it's a nope. Anubis. Anubis, probably no as well. Alright, so right here you won't be able to benefit much from this guy. Anubis unfortunately has to be somewhere in the lower end. Alright, Archon is a bit tricky. Now I've been trying out with Archon. Alright, he is definitely a solid unit to be using in Gorgona. The problem is, there's one big problem. Can you guys know what the problem is? The problem is, of course, you need good runes on him. So if you guys are not familiar with how Archon's skills work, he needs to have high amount of shield runes so that his defense boost will make him go above 100%. So once it's above 100%, it will slowly deplete every turn, reduced by 1.5%. So the more increase he has at the initial state, the start of the battle, the less decrease of total defense he will get at the end of round 2. Alright, so he's pretty good. I did equip 2 decent runes on him, managed to stack up about, his remaining HP was about 4k at the end of the round 2, which was pretty decent, like, to be honest. Like, that could provide you pretty good score for sure. But again, yeah, I think he's actually very solid. He doesn't need any set effect. In fact, there's no set effect for Archon, but I think he can work pretty well on his own. Granted that you need good runes on him. Now if you have super strong 32% shield runes on both shield runes on him, he's gonna be so good. He's gonna be like right here. But because of the runes limitation, you need good runes on him, very rune dependent. I would place him right here, same rank with Rafitia. So that's what I think. Alright, so next we have R1. Now this is getting interesting. R1. Alright, she's soon to be getting the costume. So what is Arwen all about? Arwen is pretty interesting as well, right? She actually does have this defense boost for 4 turns after she gets hit. Alright, and then she has a bunch of nullifier and stuff. But the problem is, this defense boost will only activate after she gets hit. So right now, right here in this particular world boss, she won't you know, it won't last, it only lasts for 4 turns, so round 1 she gets hit, round 2, and then what, she's gonna die eventually, right? But the good thing is she does have debuff immunity, alright, and then she does have pretty good base stats as well, so that 10%, that's gonna be helpful. So if you look carefully, compared to Aaron, comparatively to Aaron, she does have 10% base defense on her own, right? So if Aaron is here at the S tier, why not Arwen? In fact, I do think that Arwen is on par with Aaron, maybe even better, alright, so I do think that, you know, maybe she's slightly better than Aaron, just slightly, because of the 10% defense. It's going to be a huge help. That means you only need 1 shield rune on her to work, and you're good to go. 1 good shield rune on her, and she's workable, alright? So if you can get her up to 100% edgy, that is. Okay, so now Astrid. Now this is a very interesting unit, right? So I'm glad we have a chance to talk about her right now. I do not own an Astrid, unfortunately. Astrid is a unit that's based off damage reduction, alright? She's completely, that's how her skills work. High damage reduction. If you have something like Vals, that's going to mitigate all her damage reduction. She's going to die instantly. She has a very unique base stats of defense of 12%, which is really unique if you think about it. And she has slightly more base HP than Arwen as well. We just compared it, alright? So definitely if Arwen is right there in S tier, I do think that Astrid deserves this spot as well. Now granted, she does have set effect. Her set effect is co-op attack as opposed to increased HP, so that kind of sucks. And it's with Ingrid and Kozak. So if you are using Astrid, you won't benefit from any set effect because those 2 other units suck so bad. But Arwen on the other hand, yeah, you're not going to use these units as well for World Boss Gorgona. So I would say maybe Astrid is somewhere in between Arwen and Aaron, alright? So I'm going to place her right here. She's good on her own for sure, no set effect though. So Aaron, yeah, I take away what I say because Aaron has set effect that he can actually benefit from. I mean, I know I have to judge them individually, but because if their set effect is too good to pass, then it's something that I have to take into consideration when I'm judging them. Benshina, for sure she's right here, alright? Yeah, she does not have any strong tanking capabilities, but she also has 10% defense, and she has way higher HP than everyone else, so she doesn't need Grave or anything here. With Albion's buff, she's one of your top scorer right there in World Boss. Barbara, yep, for sure. Alright, so the reason why Barbara is so good, for those of you who don't know, if you look at Barbara's skills, why can't I find her? Where is she? Alright, so Barbara has this skill right here, this particular awakening skill. So it gives her 95% defense for 2 turns before normal attack. That is very good. You place Barbara on the 12th turn and she's gonna receive the 95% defense. When the boss hits her, she will take no damage at all. So that's why she's so good. You can equip 2 vital runes on her. She's gonna work so well in the World Boss Gorgona. So that's the trick right there. Place her at turn 12. Place her, make sure she's the last one to move. Bane! Now this is very interesting. Now we have a bunch of defenders right here. I do not own any Bane. He's actually surprisingly good for World Boss Gorgona. The reason why is because he has this skill right here. It's called Advanced Sharpness. 18 turns, boost edgy for 30%. Now, again, edgy boost is very important when you're fighting Gorgona because she ignores damage reduction. So if you have something that boosts edgy, it's just incredible. So Bane have that at plus 6 itself, 30% boost in edgy. So that's all that you need. 30%, obviously once you have 30% edgy, he does have base stats of 10% edgy, so that's like 40%. So if you boost him up with Tamis or something, you can literally just put 2 vital runes on him. So I'm going to place Bane right here for the time being. I'm not saying he's the best unit, he's definitely not going to go there, but he is definitely on par with all the rest in the A tier. In fact, he's like higher on the A tier of the list. Alright, now things get interesting. We have Battery. Now, Battery, she has nothing that can counter the World Boss Gorgona. She has 15% agility, but that's about it. So she is actually quite bad. So I wouldn't use her at all. Yes, she has set effect with Stare and Diomeron, which we're gonna cover shortly, but we're gonna see how well that works later on. Alright, we're gonna just shortly after. So Claudia, wouldn't recommend using her as well. She's a decent mage in a lot of other things, but not right here. Not right here against World Boss Gorgona. Katarine. Now this is a bit tricky. Katarine is very good against Dagdaron. So now we know, all of us know that, alright? She's one of the highest damage dealers against Dagdaron. But against Gorgona, because round 2 she's gonna attack, so she's gonna lose a bunch of HP. There's no point in using her right here. You're not dealing damage, you are there to take hits. Cecilia, alright, now it gets a bit interesting, right? Actually has decent skill. The problem is, this skill right here, permanent AoE, advanced AoE absorption, does not work for World Boss. It's literally mentioned right there. Can't be used in World Boss. But she does have decent base stats, 15% defense, and she has 10% agi. So that's something that is workable. I feel like she's definitely one of the better candidates to choose from if you want to counter World Boss Gorgona. Okay, this list is getting long, so let me try to... Okay, alright, so now we have a list of all the other units that I think are usable right here, and I've climbed up all the 5 stars that I think are like not worth using at all. Like really, they are just not worth using at all. So I've put them right there. Alright, so let's talk about Dalvi. Dalvi for sure, she's an S tier. Alright, so she deserves to be right here. Obvious reasons, right? So Dalvi has 100% defense, and against Gorgona, that's what you actually need. So if you have Dalvi at plus 12, it's going to be more than enough, I believe. Yep, plus 12 is going to be more than enough. So why is Dalvi good? 100% defense. She has one of the highest agi ever, 40%. Alright, just insanely good. But if you place your Dalvi in your formation, you don't have to worry about her turning back into human form, because I've tested it before. So you can just go with 2 vital runes, and she's going to help you boost your score significantly, because she will always have the 100% defense. Therefore, no damage will be applied to her. So she deserves to be in the S tier. Same with Angelica, and she's a much cheaper investment as well. So I would say she's a slightly better one. Alright, so Michaela is a very unique one. Alright, so I want to talk about Michaela for a bit. So, not many players are going to say that she's good because she does not provide much agi at all. And what do I mean by that, right? She does not provide agi at all if you look at her skills, but actually this particular skill boosts all stats except allies HP, 10%. I feel like there could be a strategy to try to use her to try to boost your agi slightly higher, but then again she takes away HP. So that's the sucky part, right? She takes away HP. So therefore, I don't think she's worth using at all. Alright, so some of you might be thinking, oh, Michaela give 10% agi. Yes, but again she takes away HP and you want HP for your scores. So if you have Michaela, no, I don't think you want to use her against Gorgona. Alright, next up we have Adin. So now Adin is a complicated one. Alright, so we're going to talk about Adin for a bit. Adin needs good shield runes to reach same state with Angelica. Alright, he needs a lot of good shield runes. He does have 10% defense, but again his agi is extremely low at 0%. So I feel like Adin is a tricky one. Maybe you can work around with 1 vital and 1 shield, if you have a very good shield rune, that is. 1 vital, 1 shield, or maybe 1 shield and 1 shield vital. Alright, he doesn't really need 100%. Maybe you can get away with 90% defense, but then again his HP is very low. Alright, so he does have about 2.9k HP. Now Angelica, I believe, have about the same, but Angelica can achieve easily much better score because you can just straight up put vitals on her. So I feel like Adin is almost on par with Angelica, but not really. So I'm going to place Adin at 1 tier below. Usable, definitely for sure, very usable. And set effect wise, nope, wouldn't recommend it for any reason. Alright, next up, Floria. So right now, Floria not yet receiving the plus 15, so that's going to come in April for sure. But if I would have to guess, if her skills were to work for World Boss as well, she will be up here for sure. She will be up here easily. But because I'm uncertain that whether or not her skills will work right now currently, I can't say for sure. So I'm going to place her right here for the time being because of uncertainty. She's kind of usable as well, 20% edgy. But other than that, I wouldn't recommend her at all. If you don't really have other units, better units to use, maybe you can slot her in there. Other than that, would not recommend using her right now. So you know what, as it is right now, I don't think she's usable at all. So we're gonna see if her rework status will make her climb again. Now Glacia, unfortunately, alright, so if you guys are not familiar with Glacia's skills, now Gorgona technically cannot do anything to Glacia, right? Because of this skill, very OP skill, unfortunately can't be used in World Boss, which is unfortunate. It sucks. Glacia has to be down here. Skills got mitigated insanely. Cowley, she's the best unit to use in any World Boss transport mode. So definitely S tier for sure. Not just in Gorgona, okay? In Therion, in Zaratan, she's in S tier as well, for sure. She deserves to be in S. Okay, Kaylin. Now this is very interesting. I want to talk a little bit of Kaylin. Now some of you guys have been asking me whether or not she will be usable, right? So it kind of makes sense for her to be, because she has skills that give agility. So if you look at it, she has 10% defense, 15% agility, and she has this skill right here, which it increase her agi to 70%. Now that's a lot. That is a lot of agi. If you can get that skill up, she needs at least plus what to work? At plus 0? Okay. She actually need plus 0 to... Wow. Okay, I think she's one of the better units to go well. Base agi 15%. If you look at here, 70% agi. She's definitely usable for sure against World Boss. She's definitely, yep, that's gonna work very well. Alright, I do think that Kaylin is one of the better units to use. Is she better than Adin though? That's the question, right? Is she like at this S tier or is she at A tier? I did not have the chance to test out Kaylin. Like, she's the only unit that I did not have chance to test her out. So as of now, I'm gonna place her right here. But she could be anywhere within S or A. She's definitely one of the better units to use against Gorgona because 100% agi. So give her one more shield rune and one more vital rune, and she's gonna help break up your score. Okay, so Leklis is not usable at all, unfortunately. She has 0% base defense and base agi, so that kind of sucks. Now Lilian, some of you guys tried to tell me that she's usable somewhat, but only if you are not setting a proper setup, she will be used. In most cases, after Lilian attacks at round 2, she's gonna lose 100% defense and she's gonna die in the last hit. So some players have reported to me that their Lilian did not manage to hit World Boss Gorgona because she turned into stone. I'm not sure how did that happen, but okay. But I don't think she's usable at all. Archon is going to be much better. Like overall, yes, rune dependent, but in terms of overall usability, Archon is just so much better. Besides, Lilian has way less HP than an Archon would. So I would place her right there below everything. Okay, so Ludia. Now this is an interesting one. So ideally, in most cases, if you have strong shield runes, if you have good shield runes on Ludia, it makes sense for her to be used right here, right? But the problem is, her HP is relatively low. So yes, she might... I've never really tested her because I don't have a strong Ludia with strong runes and stuff. If you have 2 strong shield runes with, you know, like edgy substat, definitely she's a usable one, for sure. But, you know, I do think that she won't be able to provide you much with the score anyways. So you're better off using something like Kaylin, which has way higher HP and can work it at plus 0 as opposed to Ludia, which needs investment. So I want to place her right here beside Livia. That's about where she deserves. It makes sense. Sabrina, of course, Sabrina gives a ton of agi, right? So obviously you're gonna need skill level, but if you have her at plus 9, plus 10, she helps a ton. She gives the 30% support and 30% boost agi. She gives healing as well, so that's going to be a big help. So she's pretty crucial in trying to deal with Gorgona. I would say she's almost as important as Albion in setting up if you want to have the highest score possible at the time of me recording this. Alright, Tamis, same goes for her as well. Now Tamis is negligible. You can choose not to use her, but she's very good. She's very good. Now, is she deserving of the S tier? Is she as good as Sabrina though? Yes, definitely. You can actually replace I've seen formations that do not use Sabrina and just use Tammy's and Albion. It's definitely workable. Or not use Albion at all and use Sabrina and Tammy's. So that's something that you can try as well. So Tammy's, she only needs +3 if I'm not mistaken to get her agility support boost. Other than that, she's not a very expensive investment if you want to try for the World Boss. Okay, so next up we have Velter. Now, Velter is an interesting one. I would say right now, I would place him right here. He's okay, can be used, 10% base stats in defense, 5% base stats in agi. He does have high HP, but other than that, like, he does not have, his skills doesn't provide anything else. But of course, Velter is gonna get reworked soon. So right now I will place him right here. These units are clearly better, so I would place Velter right here for the time being. But after rework, definitely he will climb higher. But for now, he's a usable unit, but I don't think he's better compared to the rest of the units. He's gonna need more buffs in trying to get him work. Okay, next up we have Ventana. Alright, so I did place Barbara right here. Okay, so if you guys are not familiar with Ventana's skill, she has one similar skill to Barbara as well. So this particular awakening skill. Alright, in fact, Ventana's skill is better than Barbara. The reason why is because if you look at it, you just need awakening. You need awaken Ventana and you get the 95% defense. Whereas, if you look at Barbara, at awaken you only get 65% defense. So Barbara will need plus, what is this, plus 14? Now that's a lot of investment to get to 95%. So I feel like investment wise, Ventana is better, but of course Barbara does have the set effect with Cowley, which is the best World Boss unit ever. And then if you have that with Ceres as well, which is not here, these are all 5 stars, but we're going to cover that later, 4 stars. Yeah, it gets really insane, alright? The stack in terms of score is really high. So I would say Ventana is very good, but she does not have any set effect, good one to pair with, and her base HP overall is lesser than the Barbara. But she is an option, for sure. She's an option for sure. I would say very usable. Alright, I'm going to place her right here at 8 here. And next we have Vermont. Vermont is a bit tricky. Okay, so if you look at his stats, very important again, it's all about stats. 15% defense, but 0% agility. Alright, he does not have any skill that can give anything in terms of increasing agi, except for this skill right here, helps with defense, but only for 1 turn, right? Other than that, pretty useless skill against Gorgona for sure. Set effect is not gonna be beneficial. The Knight family does increase HP, but yeah, the other two really sucks. So I would say he's pretty decent right here, besides Velter, because he does have pretty good base HP as well. So Vermont is one of the units that it can be built for World Boss actually to give you the HP boost. His HP is significantly high. I believe he's in the top 10 or maybe top 15 units in the highest HP for defenders. Alright, Veronia, definitely very usable. Veronia is very good. So especially now she has plus 15 and she can give one unit the 98% defense. Alright, very good. You can use this same trick if you don't have Barbara, if you don't have Ventana. Use Veronia at the end. Buff someone up, that person, make sure that she will receive the 100% defense. Very useful. Alright, you just need a plus 10 for that, a little bit of investment. Alright, so plus 10, this one is where it unlocks that skill to 48% defense times support percent. But then again, she does have very good stats as well. If you look at it, good HP, good base HP, good base defense, 10% agi. What more do you want, right? So she deserves to be up here. So the only downside is she does not have any set effect with anyone. Other than that, she's a very good solid unit on her own for sure. Definitely use her. Alright, next we have Walia. She doesn't have high stats, but she has decent agi, 10% base stats. I wouldn't use her at all, but again, if you don't have a choice, she's pretty okay. She's pretty alright still. Okay, the last unit, the last 5-star we're going to talk about is Zenith. Now this gets interesting. Zenith is a very unique unit because she does have agi boost. Alright, right here from this skill right here, 65% agi after normal attack. So a little bit similar to Kaylin. Alright, if you guys forgotten about her already, Kaylin is right here. Alright, and she does have 25% base edgy alongside with the 65. That will give us 90%. So that is quite high. 90% edgy coupled with her 10% base defense. She does not have any set effect, which is unfortunate. But again, she's definitely usable. So I feel like Zenith deserves to be right here. Not quite right there, but very close. Alright, she's like the higher tier list of the A tier. Maybe somewhere like... Okay, honorable mention. Now we're going to cover the 4 stars. This tier list only includes 5 stars. Alright, so you should only pay attention to the S tier, the A tier. Don't pay attention to everything else. Only the S and the A tier. Alright, if you have these units, good. But if you don't have any other units, you only have a bunch of 4 stars. I'm going to cover it right here. Let's start from the warrior. Okay, so which warrior can be used efficiently, effectively against Gorgona? The only 2 units that are worth trying out is Brisa, number 1. So she has this particular skill right here, which gives her insane amount of defense. 4 turns, 80% increase in defense. So she already has 5% base defense. So she's gonna get really close to the 100% defense. So she's definitely a good candidate for sure. Now, she does have set effect, so you can consider that, but it's more for co-op and it helps with healing as opposed to increase in HP. So that might not be that usable in that particular scenario. So one more warrior that might be worth using or worth your time is Ron. Alright, so Ron has high edgy, so we all know this. 95% agility. So to survive Gorgona's hit, like I mentioned in my previous video, you need 23% defense at least. Alright, and 100% edgy, the combination of both of it to take the hit from Gorgona and survive. If you do not have that, you will need 100% defense. Alright, or maybe close to 100% defense, maybe 95% could work as well. But other than that, you're gonna die if you don't have either one of these 2 criteria. Now Ron has the 100% agility by default because he has 10% base edgy. So you just need 1 shield rune on him to make him survive. You need a good one as well, at least 23% defense. And yep, he's gonna be able to survive from Gorgona. Alright, so those are the only 2 warriors that I think are worth using for 4 stars and below. If there's anyone that I missed out, let me know. Now, one unit that most of you guys know her, you know, and she used to be really strong, but right now she's completely out of the meta from Guild Wars, is Grace. Now Grace can achieve 100% agility easily, no problem at all. So the problem with she only have 6 turns to do so. So at +0 even, if you awaken her, she will have the 75% edgy boost, coupled with what she has at her base edgy, which is 25%, that will give her 100% agility. So now granted, she only has 10% base defense, so she needs 1 good shield runes, alright, and 1 vital rune, and there you go. You have a solid option to be able to take hits from Gorgona. Alright, Jacqueline again is a very solid option. One of the best tanks to use for this kind of bosses, Transport World Boss. Alright, a lot of healing, edgy plus 65%. He does have 15% of his own. Alright, so that's like 75% already. So obviously that coupled with some buffs from other supporters, he will be able to take the hits no problem. Most of the time he will survive. Alright, Martina is a pretty decent option as well. You won't even need high skill level, 75% edgy. She does have 25% agility as well. So that will give her 100% edgy. Same deal with Grace. Base HP 10%. She actually has the same concept with Grace as well. Definitely very usable. Definitely very usable. If you don't have any other solid choice, she's a better contender than Grace because of her higher base HP. So do consider Martina as well. Very good solid choice. Okay, so Groza is an interesting one. I believe Groza is still the highest 4-star mercenary in terms of the HP. Alright, he has the highest HP stat. I do believe that if you place Groza in terms of the Albion's range where Groza is receiving the buff, he's going to help you boost your score. So definitely not to be underestimated. He doesn't have high edgy, high defense. If you want to use Groza, you will need the aid of Albion for sure. Alright, so do keep that in mind when you're setting up your formation. Do not forget about Groza. Very solid option, very solid choice right there. Okay, so moving on to Magician. Alright, so 4-star and below. So Magician is a bit tricky. Most of these are kind of unusable. Like Leah is good. Alright, co-op. If you have Tamis, if you have Aaron, So this will give the 30% increased HP to all of them. So she's definitely a decent option right there, something to consider. Alright, same goes for Ceres as well. Alright, so Ceres, again, if you have Cowley and Barbara, for sure, she will help a ton. Alright, she will give you like a lot of flexibility in trying to do what she can. So very important to try to get the 30% effect with Cowley, because Cowley is one of the highest, she's the highest HP mercenary in the game right now. Valter is not yet out at the time of me recording this video. Cowley can achieve the highest HP possible. So therefore, Cowley will be able to give you the highest score possible. Getting the 30% on top of Cowley's insane HP is not such a bad idea actually. So you will be able to get even more score with that. Alright, so for supporters, we have plenty of other options as well. Lulu is a good one. Alright, she does give edgy. Not a lot, but still pretty good at +9. Alright, you just need +9. In fact, you need +12 actually for the range. I would say +12 is a good one. Support times 30%, boost edgy. Now, if you don't have something like a Themis, Lulu is definitely something that you can try to use again. Alright, so I will have a strategy on how we can do that later on. We will try to cover that, but Lulu is definitely doable. Same goes for Narisa. If you have a strong Narisa build up, you can consider using Narisa as well. Granted, Narisa's edgy is only 20% as opposed to Lulu. Lulu is still better overall, but if you already have a Narisa, she's gonna be pretty usable. Anais, very good as well. She does give edgy, she does give healing. Another good option if you need bonus edgy buffs to your allies. Alright guys, so that's gonna be it for this video. So plenty of units that you can try out, plenty of different combinations for World Boss Gorgona. Hopefully that will give you an idea of what you need to be looking out in setting up your mercenaries. If you can't copy someone else's formation, use this tier list. Try to use those units that are recommended to you. You should be able to achieve pretty high score with it. And keep in mind, yes, there's plenty of options in terms of all the mercenaries, and this is not all. We're going to have more units coming in April, so hopefully some of them will be able to contribute to your high score. I know Gorgona is the harder world boss compared to Dagdaron, but it's something that's achievable sooner than later. Just need to craft the perfect strategy. I'm still trying to figure things out with some of the other units. I took like whole day just to test out with Arkan and Ventana alone, but yep, definitely they could work. But again, if there are any other units that I missed out, let me know in the comments below. So these are what I think is the somewhat usable units from the most top to the bottom, and those that are in C and D, I wouldn't use them at all. Alright, so again, these are only 5 stars. I've included the 4 stars as well. Like I mentioned, bunch of 4 stars are, and 3 stars, some of them are actually really good. Oh, I forgot to mention Jaden. Yes, forgot to mention before we end the video. So Jaden, again, very strong unit. Make sure to take advantage of that as well. If you don't have a good unit with high HP, Jaden is definitely usable. Now granted that Jaden really needs the Albion's help. If you do not have Albion, he's not going to work well on his own, so keep that in mind. Alright, so again, that's going to be it for this video. Stay safe guys, have a nice day, subscribe, goodbye.